they're creating this neoliberal economic plan for Gaza that, where Tony Blair is going to sort of play the role of L. Paul Bremer, the viceroy that Cheney and Bush put in charge of Iraq after the US invasion. Remember that Jared Kushner is bankrolled by Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates in his venture capital firm, and is dirty with all kinds of business in that region. And so, Trump in May goes and he meets with all of these emirs and other leaders of these countries in the Gulf. He loves what he's seeing there. He loves the fact that they don't have to deal with elections the way that he does. And I think Trump is looking at this as a huge business opportunity. He's not going to get his Gaza Middle East Riviera in the formal way that he threatened it in February, but he basically talked about it yesterday when he said to Ron Dermer during the thing, he's like, oh, Israel gave up Gaza. They gave up the most beautiful piece of real estate in the Middle East. So part of the agenda here too is the Trump family business. So there is a degree to which Netanyahu could cause problems for what Trump wants to develop Gaza one way or the other. And that's why Kushner was a central player in all of this. Kushner, it's remarkable open corruption that you have Tony Blair and Jared Kushner with all of their entanglements. They're going to somehow now be the viceroys of Gaza. And the priority is going to be investment. And the priority is going to be making that money and the kickbacks.
Yeah, Trump seems in a way to be naming himself Emir of Gaza with this.
He didn't recommend it himself. He didn't nominate himself, but he's reluctantly taking the position. That's how he put it.
Right, exactly. He's like, he says so much work to do, but this is so important, and nobody else can do it. That that he's going to do it. Larry Ellison, as what I alluded to at the top, is either the top donor or one of the top donors to the Tony Blair Institute, and Tony Blair is basically a project, of Larry Ellison at this point. Larry Ellison and his son, have over the last several weeks pulled off an absolutely historic consolidation of power in the media, including Warner Brothers, CNN, Paramount, TikTok, which Oracle is effectively taking over. Larry Ellison has been the biggest donor to Friends of the IDF in that organization's history. That's a nonprofit that builds like military installations and otherwise supports the IDF. He has been a relentless and ruthless supporter of Israel throughout his life. Tony Blair was floated a year and a half or so ago, if you remember, as in this precise same position. But at the time, there was public pushback, and he denied, that he was going to have anything to do with this. I was told at the time from somebody close to him, no, this was true. He just denied it because it was too hot. Obviously, it was true, because here he is now a year and a half later doing the exact same thing. Larry Ellison has also spoken very openly about what he sees as the role of technology in government, which is creating digital IDs, mass surveillance, biometric, technology being used to, keep people on their best behavior. Do you suspect that this could become some type of dystopian experiment in like a future of what kind of a tech republic could look like?
If you look at the history of colonialism and sort of the opportunity to create a brave new world, in where the savages once resided, they're always seeking to use the local population to test out whatever new technologies they have, whatever new theories they have, whatever new medicines they want to test. And I think that is part of what they'll end up trying to do with Palestinians in Gaza. And you also have, our colleague Anthony Lowenstein, the Australian journalist, wrote a book called The Palestine Laboratory, which is about how Israel has used Palestinians and Palestinian territory as a testing ground for its weapons and intelligence products that it then wants to market to the rest of the world. And this reminds me of the discourse within neocon circles as they anticipated the invasion and occupation of Iraq, where they were going to remake a society in the Middle East with a neoliberal economic vision from the ground up, that's embedded, and it's not even thinly veiled. It's just right there explicitly in this proposal. So I think that is part of the plan. That is part of the agenda. And if you combine that with what Trump said starting in February about a Gaza Riviera, and then the other comments that he's made, it seems pretty clear that they're trying to build this neoliberal coalition that's going to somehow create a miracle in the Middle East using the most beautiful oceanfront property, as Trump put it, that exists. It's really sick stuff, but it harkens back to the eras of British colonialism and the way that the natives were treated when the British came in to conquer them and bring, civilization. It's a neo-technological form of colonialism that is laid out quite bluntly in this document.